Today, we're in Rabat, the capital of Morocco. When most people think of Morocco, cities like Marrakech, Fez, or Casablanca usually come to mind first. But Rabat, with its rich history, ocean views, and relaxed atmosphere, is one of the country's most fascinating destinations. In this video, we'll explore some of the most important places in Rabat together. We'll walk along the city's modern boulevards, pass through its historic walls, wander through the old Medina, and stroll the narrow streets of the Kasbah de Oudayas, one of Rabat's oldest neighborhoods. Finally, we'll enjoy breathtaking views overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. Along the way, we'll also talk about Rabat's past, stories of pirates and hidden treasures, and why this city feels so different from Morocco's other major destinations. Rabat is a city where modern life and history exist side by side. While it serves as Morocco's capital and administrative center, it continues to preserve centuries of heritage within its walls. Today, we'll see how these two worlds come together. So if you're ready, let's begin our walk and discover one of Morocco's most underrated yet captivating cities. And if you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more walking tours around the world. Hello everyone, right now we are in Rabat, capital of Morocco, about 100 kilometers northeast of Casablanca. Right now we're walking along Avenue Mohammed V, one of Rabat's most important avenues, heading toward the old Medina. This is more than just a road. It feels like a bridge between Rabat's past and present. Most of the buildings you see along both sides of the avenue were constructed during the early 20th century, when Morocco was under French protectorate rule. Because of that, you'll notice a blend of traditional Moroccan architecture and European influences throughout the area. The wide sidewalks, rows of palm trees, white facades, and orderly urban design give Rabat a very different feel compared to many other Moroccan cities. Visitors arriving from Marrakech or Fez often notice immediately that Rabat feels calmer, more spacious, and more organized. The city's history, however, stretches back much further. Rabat was founded in the 12th century during the Almohad dynasty. At the time, it served as an important military outpost and a strategic center protecting Morocco's Atlantic coast. Over the centuries, different dynasties ruled the city, gradually transforming it into one of Morocco's key political centers. Today, Rabat serves as the capital of Morocco and is home to the royal palace, government institutions, and many national organizations. Yet one of the city's greatest strengths is that despite being a modern capital, it has managed to preserve much of its historic character. In just a few minutes, we'll reach the Medina, where we'll discover a completely different side of Rabat. The wide boulevards and official buildings will give way to narrow streets, traditional shops, and traces of daily life that have remained unchanged for generations. And that's exactly what makes Rabat so interesting. Within a short walk, you can travel from a modern capital city into an atmosphere that feels centuries old. Today, Rabat has a population of around 2 million people in its metropolitan area, making it one of Morocco's largest urban centers. As the country's capital, the city is home to government institutions, ministries, diplomatic missions, and many national organizations. A large portion of the population works in public administration, education, finance, technology, and professional services. Unlike Casablanca, which is considered Morocco's economic powerhouse, Rabat is primarily known as the country's political and administrative heart. Many people living here work in government offices, universities, research centers, embassies, and international organizations. One thing that immediately stands out about modern Rabat is how organized and spacious it feels. Wide boulevards, palm-lined streets, parks, and carefully planned neighborhoods give the city a calmer atmosphere compared to many other major Moroccan cities. But Rabat is not only a political capital, it is also one of Morocco's most important cultural centers. In fact, the city was named a UNESCO World Heritage Site because of the unique way its historic and modern districts coexist. Ancient walls, centuries-old monuments, French colonial architecture, and contemporary developments all exist side by side. As we continue our walk, you can feel this balance everywhere around us. We will leave you with this tour till the old square. As soon as you pass through the old city walls, a large square welcomes you. The blue tuk-tuk for transportation here add a fun and unique touch to the experience. This square is also one of the best places to sample traditional Moroccan cuisine. Local restaurants line the area, serving everything from tagines to grilled specialties. And of course, you can't leave without trying some of Morocco's famous pastries and sweets. If you need a break, this is also a perfect spot to sit down with a glass of refreshing mint tea or enjoy freshly squeezed tropical fruit juices while watching daily life unfold around you. Now we're entering Rabat's old Medina. This feels like a completely different world from the broad avenues and modern city planning we've just left behind. Only a few minutes ago, we were walking through a spacious and orderly urban landscape. Now we're surrounded by narrow alleyways, traditional shops, colorful market stalls, and the vibrant rhythm of everyday life. Compared to some of Morocco's larger Medinas, Rabat's Medina feels calmer and easier to navigate. The maze-like feeling found in cities such as Fez is less intense here, allowing you to enjoy the historic atmosphere at a more relaxed pace. As we continue walking, we pass spice vendors, leather goods, traditional clothing, and handcrafted souvenirs. At the same time, we witness local life unfolding around us. This is not simply a tourist attraction, it remains the living, breathing heart of Rabat. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Medina is how the past and present coexist in the same streets. Ancient stone walls stand beside modern signs, traditional shops serve contemporary customers, and centuries-old pathways continue to connect daily life. People come here not only to shop but also to gather, socialize, and worship. And right ahead of us stands the Rabat Grand Mosque. This is one of Rabat's most important and historic mosques. Originally built during the 14th century under the Marinid dynasty, it has been expanded and restored several times throughout its history. Located near the historic Medina, the mosque is a beautiful example of traditional Moroccan Islamic architecture. Its elegant courtyard, arched entrances, an active role within the local community make it an important religious and cultural landmark in the city. As we continue through these streets, we move closer to some of Rabat's oldest stories. The Medina is not simply a marketplace, it is the city's memory. Walking here offers a glimpse into the authentic, local side of Rabat, hidden behind its calm capital city image. As we leave the Medina and begin walking toward the Kasbah, the scenery changes once again. Just moments ago, we were surrounded by narrow streets, small shops, and the lively atmosphere of the old city. Now the landscape opens up in front of us. On our right flows the Bou Regreg River, which separates Rabat from its neighboring city, Salé. For centuries, merchant ships sailed along these waters, making the river an important part of the city's history. Today, its peaceful shoreline and walking paths offer some of Rabat's most beautiful views. On our left, Rabat's modern side becomes more visible. The marina, waterfront cafes, restaurants, and newer developments showcase how the city has evolved in recent years. People sit by the water enjoying the view, while others stroll along the promenade. These modern spaces standing beside historic walls create a fascinating contrast between past and present. This is one of the most enjoyable parts of the walk. Just minutes ago, we were navigating the Medina's narrow alleys, and now we're experiencing a completely different side of Rabat, overlooking the marina. As we approach the Kasbah, the cool breeze from the Atlantic becomes more noticeable. The city's noise slowly fades away, replaced by a calmer and more peaceful atmosphere. It's at this moment that you begin to understand why Rabat is often considered one of Morocco's most livable cities. Here, history, nature, and modern life coexist seamlessly within the same landscape. As we continue, the Atlantic Ocean becomes increasingly visible. To our right stand the old city walls, while ahead lies the mouth of the Bou Regreg River, where it meets the ocean. This is where Rabat's history takes on a more mysterious character. Centuries ago, these waters were not only traveled by merchants but also by pirates. During the 17th century, Rabat and neighboring Salé became one of the Atlantic's most notorious pirate centers. From these shores, corsairs launched expeditions against European ships and returned with captured goods and treasure. As a result, the region became known not only as a strategic port, but also as a place filled with legends and stories. According to local tales, some of the treasures seized by pirates were never recovered. Some believe they were hidden near the ancient walls, while others claim they remain concealed within secret tunnels beneath the Kasbah. Whether these stories are fact or legend is difficult to know today. Yet while standing before these ocean-facing walls, it's easy to imagine the ships sailing into the horizon, the watchmen scanning the sea, and the news arriving from distant lands. This view perfectly explains why Rabat was so important throughout history. With the Atlantic Ocean on one side, the river on the other, and defensive walls protecting the settlement, the city enjoyed significant advantages for both trade and defense. Before entering the Kasbah, we passed through one of Rabat's most peaceful corners, the Andalusian Gardens. The atmosphere changes immediately. Palm trees, orange trees, flowers, and shaded pathways create a tranquil environment far removed from the city's busy streets. The gardens feel like a natural transition into the Kasbah itself. The sounds of the city fade away, the ocean breeze becomes more noticeable, and the historic walls of Rabat rise ahead of us. Now we're approaching one of Rabat's most iconic landmarks. In just a moment, we'll pass through the historic gates of the Kasbah de Oudayas and enter a world of blue and white streets, ancient fortifications, and spectacular views overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. This is one of Rabat's oldest and most distinctive neighborhoods. The first thing that catches your attention is the blue and white color scheme of the streets. Many visitors say it reminds them more of the Greek islands than Morocco. However, the use of these colors has been a long-standing tradition here as well. The history of the Kasbah dates back to the 12th century. It was originally built by the Almohads as a military fortress. Over time, it was expanded during different periods and gradually evolved into a residential neighborhood. The design of these narrow streets was no accident. Centuries ago, there were practical reasons for building them this way. They provided shade from the summer sun, helped control the wind, and made the area easier to defend against potential attacks. As you walk through these streets, the atmosphere feels completely different from the rest of Rabat. Even though the city's traffic and crowds are only a few minutes away, everything here feels calm and peaceful. Most of the sounds you hear are conversations between locals, birds singing, and the distant breeze coming from the Atlantic Ocean. One of the most charming things about the Kasbah is that it never feels rushed. People sit outside their homes, spend time in small cafes, and daily life moves at a relaxed pace. As you continue walking, there is always something new to notice around every corner. Blue-painted walls, colorful flowers, traditional doorways, and stone staircases give the neighborhood a postcard-like appearance. And perhaps that is exactly what makes the Kasbah so special. It is not simply a historic site. It is still a living neighborhood. Just as it has for centuries, it remains an active part of everyday life. That's why walking here feels less like visiting a tourist attraction and more like stepping into a place where Rabat's past continues to live on. Perhaps the most fascinating thing about Rabat is that beneath its calm and peaceful appearance lies a much deeper history, one filled with pirates, hidden treasures, and centuries of stories waiting to be discovered. Now we've reached one of the most beautiful viewpoints inside the Kasbah de Oudayas, the terrace overlooking the Atlantic Ocean and the Bou Regreg River. This is one of the best places to truly appreciate Rabat's geography. On one side stretches the endless Atlantic Ocean. On the other, the river separates Rabat from the city of Saleh. From here you can see the coastline, the river mouth, and daily life unfolding below. This terrace is not only a scenic viewpoint, it's also a place that helps explain Rabat's history. For centuries, both the ocean and river could be monitored from this strategic location. Incoming ships, trade routes, and potential threats were all observed from these heights. The sea breeze, the historic walls, and the panoramic views create a powerful atmosphere. Just moments ago, we were wandering through narrow blue and white streets. And now we can clearly understand why Rabat became such an important city. It's also one of the most peaceful spots within the Kasbah. Standing here, simply taking in the view, allows you to appreciate Rabat's calm yet deeply layered character. Today, we walked along modern boulevards, explored the narrow streets of the historic Medina, experienced the peaceful atmosphere of the Andalusian Gardens, and admired the Atlantic Ocean from the walls of the Kasbah de Oudaias. Rabat may not be the first city that comes to mind when people think of Morocco, but after spending time here, it's easy to understand why so many visitors fall in love with its unique character. The way the city preserves its historical identity while embracing modern life is truly impressive. And with that, we've reached the end of our walking tour. I hope you enjoyed this tour and felt, even for a moment, as if you were walking these streets alongside us. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and support the channel. In future episodes, we'll continue exploring fascinating cities and stories from around the world.